Well, good morning. I am heading out to the greenhouse this morning because I've got some seedlings that need to be transplanted. So I'm moving them from the grow light and we're gonna pot them up and put them, and they're gonna live in the greenhouse until they're ready to go outside. So what I've got here is I've got a flat of artichokes and Brussels sprouts. So they are getting big and they need to go outside and get a little bit more sun. So we're going to the greenhouse to pot them up. It must be warm in the greenhouse because I can hear the fans on. So it's supposed to get to be about 58 today. And we're gonna get out here and do some chores because it's our only day this week that the wind is not blowing and we have a lot of tumbleweeds to burn. So we've got some work to do. So right here, I've got some lettuce and it's just a salad blend, and then I've got some red leaf lettuce in there. So, and I just planted in here so we would have some early greens. I'm gonna say that this next week we might be able to cut some baby greens out of here. And then over here in this pot I have some spinach. So I just put it out here and it's doing really well. I got a petunia coming up. So I'm gonna dig him up today and plant him as well. See, that's why I can't get rid of the catnip plant. She loves it. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got my soil. I just put it in this tub because it's easier to maneuver around. And then I've got my watering tray here. And these are just a 1080 tray from Johnny's. I believe that's what they call them. And I'm trying to decide right now what I want to do as far as how I'm going to pot these up. So I have a couple choices. So I have just regular old potting. I think these are like a 4-inch is what they call them. They're really like a 3.5. Or I can pot them up into a 50 cell tray. But I think the way they're growing, I think I'm gonna go straight into the 4-inch. So I've got these, I've got my potting soil here, and I've got my starts. All right, for the artichokes, I'm gonna just go ahead and pop them out of this tray. I'll show you what it looks like. Just kind of give them a little push from the bottom so I don't hurt them. And they have good roots on them. So if you can see that, they got quite a few roots. So I'm just going to take my 4-inch and I'm going to put it down in here, put some soil around it, pack it down. And then it is ready to go back on the tray. We will still be watering these from the bottom so that we're just not disturbing the plant. I'm gonna water them just with regular water today, and then I might probably come out tomorrow or the next day and give them a little bit of fish emulsion fertilizer. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple more of these, and then I'll move over to the Brussels sprouts, and we're going to do them just a hair bit differently because they're a little bit leggy and they've got some yellow leaves, so they need a dose of fertilizer. And both of these are very high feeders, so we're going to have to give them, we'll probably give them a light dose of fertilizer every time we water them. Okay. thing I do if they have a considerable amount of roots and I'm having a hard time getting them out of here is I'll take like this pair of snips or whatever I've got handy and I'll poke it up through the bottom and it just kind of loosens them up. But you'll find that they're a little bit hard to get out of the tray when they start getting a considerable amount of roots. Okay, so I got all the artichokes planted. I'm going to show you what they look like now. And then I'm going to set them over kind of closer to the door. So the Brussels sprouts are definitely not as sturdy as the artichokes. So I think what I'm going to do is pop them out and then I'm going to plant them up to the neck because they're a little leggy. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Let me pull one out and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so what I've got here is, and I think what happened is when I had them on the heat mat, these germinated before the artichokes germinated, and so they stayed inside a little bit too long before I took them out to the grow light. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So I got one here. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to pull it all the way out. And it definitely has some roots on it. So you can see the little roots coming out the bottom, but it kind of has a long neck. So I think my plan is, and this is my first time doing Brussels sprouts, is I'm going to plant it up to here, and that'll just make it a little bit stronger of a plant. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I've got my soil here. I'm just going to press it all the way down in there, get it nice and deep, and then I'm going to fill it up with dirt. So this is what it looks like when it gets planted in the 4-inch pot. So I think that's my plan, and that'll make them have a little bit stronger of a stem for when they go outside. So I'm gonna finish potting all these up. Okay, so we had to take a pause on the planting this morning because we had a window of opportunity to get outside and get some burning done before the wind picked up this afternoon. So I am back in the greenhouse now, and I'm going to finish up transplanting the Brussels sprouts, and we'll take a little look-see at the artichokes. They fared really well this afternoon. I was a little nervous moving them out into the greenhouse because it got pretty warm in here this afternoon, but they look really good. So here's the artichokes, and they are looking nice and pretty healthy. That one's looking a little dry back there, so I'll probably re-water it. But everything else is looking really good. Maybe because it was like popped up a little. I'm not. Anyways, I'll get it a drink before I go inside. But they're looking really good. I had the door open for a little while because it was really hot in here today. It was like 90 degrees, so I opened the door and cooled it down, and now we're sitting at about 55 degrees in here. All right, here we go. So we're gonna get the rest of these. Looks like we might have lost one today, but I think, here's what I'm thinking. Look at this. I'm gonna pull this out of here and show you guys. See the end right there? The edge? I think the cat chewed on it. So I think that's why we lost that one, because everything else looks fine. All right. Okay, so we got them all planted. I'm gonna give a good watering, and then they'll be set. I'll probably come out and label them tomorrow. I do have labels in here, like I just put the artichoke label from the flat and the one, but I mean, I don't have enough in the greenhouse yet to lose track, so I probably will make up some labels tonight, and then I will come out and order and label everything tomorrow. So I'm going to give these guys a drink. I am going to give them just a dribble on the top. I don't like to, sometimes hard watering them from overhead right after you transplant them, because I feel like you're beating them up. You've already beat them up quite a bit, and then you do it again. So we're going to give them just a little drink on the top without beating them up too much. And then what I'll do is fill up the tray. So I got them all watered in, and I'm going to get them up here on the shelf. So I've got them all up here on the shelf, and they're looking good. I might have just stuck that little plant in the corner to see if it'd get some roots. And I stuck this Hens and Chicks in here because he was looking a little welty from winter, like he needed a drink. So we're letting him soak up a little bit of water from the bottom real quick. So yeah, looks really good. So I think the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to transplant that petunia from the ground. Okay, here we go. I'm going to come in here and just get a nice chunk of the ground. A little laying a little sideways. All right, I got the root, got it. I'm just gonna set it right here in our box of soil. Move this back over to the table. And then I'm going to take this pot and put it in there. So I'm gonna fill that up with soil. I'm just gonna stick that down in there. This will be really easy. This is one-handed potting. So, pat that down. We're gonna give it a little drink. And find a place to set it up here. I probably will just stick it right by here in the front. And then we'll give it a little saucer so it can hold a little bit of moisture. It's just a lid, but. And then the petunia, surprise petunia, is planted. Okay, good morning. It's the next day, and I thought I would come out here and check on all our seedlings before I head off to work. It got down to 33 degrees last night. The greenhouse says 40 this morning when I came out. So I'm going to show you what everything looks like this morning. So it looks like about 42 degrees in here. And it is 7:30 in the morning. Everything is looking really, really good. But our transplants look just fine. There's a few that look a little worse for the wear, but I think they're gonna pull out of it just fine. Everything looks good. Artichokes look really good. Petunia looks good. So I would say overall that's a transplanting success.